always believed our love story was one for the books. Dylan and I, we were high school sweethearts. We built a life together, brick by brick, laugh by laugh. 20 years, 2 amazing kids, a home filled with memories. I thought we were unshakable. But one ordinary Tuesday, my world shattered into a million pieces. It started with a text message that flashed on his phone while he was in the shower. It wasn't the usual work notification. It was from a name I didn't recognize, adorned with a heart emoji. "Can't stop thinking about last night," it read. My own heart stopped. My hands trembled as I stared at the screen. It felt like a punch to the gut, stealing the very air from my lungs. This couldn't be happening. Not to us, not to Dylan and Rhea. I confronted him that evening, the damning text message burning a hole in my mind. At first, he denied it. He called me crazy, paranoid, said it was just a colleague. The lies crumbled and the ugly truth spilled out. Her name was Chloe. They'd been seeing each other for 6 months. 6 months. A whirlwind of images flooded my mind. Every late night at the office, every business trip, every time he seemed distant. It all clicked into place, forming a sickening mosaic of deceit. He broke down, of course. The tears streamed down his face as he begged for my forgiveness. He swore it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, that it meant nothing. He said he loved me, only me, and that we could get through this. A part of me, the part that had loved him for 2 decades, wanted to believe him. I wanted to rewind time, to erase that text message, to go back to being the happy, oblivious wife I was just hours before. He promised to end it, to go to therapy, to do whatever it took to earn back my trust. He was so sure I'd forgive him. Everyone always said I was the forgiving type. For the next few weeks, our home became a battleground of emotions. Dylan was on his best behavior, a model husband. He brought me flowers, cooked my favorite meals, and constantly told me how sorry he was. He painted a picture of our future, repaired and stronger than ever. My friends and family were divided. "He made a mistake, Rhea, but he's your husband," some would say. "Think of the kids." Others urged me to leave. "You deserve better," they'd insist. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of opinions, my own voice lost in the noise. Every night, I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our life together. Was it all a lie? Did he ever truly love me? The man sleeping next to me felt like a stranger. The trust, the very foundation of our marriage, had been bulldozed. How could I ever look at him again without seeing his betrayal? How could I ever believe his "I love yous" without a shadow of doubt? He thought his grand gestures and tearful apologies would be enough to patch up the gaping wound he'd torn in our lives. He expected me to do what I always did, forgive and forget. In her place was a woman who was tired, hurt, but also surprisingly strong. I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger with tired eyes, but beneath the pain, I saw a flicker of resilience. I realized that forgiveness isn't a debt I owe to the person who wronged me. It's a gift I give to myself, but on my own terms and on my own timeline. And sometimes, the greatest act of self-love is choosing to walk away. One evening, I sat Dylan down. The house was quiet. The kids were at my parents' house. There were no tears this time, just a calm, quiet resolve. I told him I had made a decision. I could see the relief wash over his face. He thought this was it, the moment I say, "I forgive you. Let's move on." He reached for my hand, a hopeful smile on his lips. But I pulled my hand back. "Dylan," I said, my voice steady, "I can't do this. I can't stay." The smile vanished from his face, replaced by utter shock. He couldn't comprehend it. He kept repeating, "But I thought you'd forgive me." and that was the problem. He thought. He assumed my love was unconditional, that my forgiveness was a given. He had taken my heart for granted, believing it was his to break and mend at will. I might forgive you one day, Dylan, I told him, for my own peace, but I can't forget. And I can't live with this. I'd choose me. It was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do, dismantling the life we had built. The legal proceedings telling the kids, dividing our world, it was excruciating. There were days I doubted my decision, moments of crippling loneliness where I missed the man I thought he was. But slowly, surely, I began to heal. I rediscovered parts of myself I had lost over the years. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since college. I reconnected with old friends. I found joy in simple things, a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, a walk in the park with my kids, the freedom of my own choices. I learned that my identity wasn't Dylan's wife. I was Rhea, a mother, a friend, an artist, a survivor. Choosing a different path wasn't about punishing him. It was about saving myself. It was about showing my children what strength, self-respect, and true happiness look like. My story didn't end with his betrayal. It was the start of a brand new chapter, one written entirely by me. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that you are not alone and your feelings are valid. Choosing yourself is never the wrong decision.